since doing my Temu foundation and powder review, only one of you, hi Miss Linda, had requested me to do a TIRTIR foundation review. So I did add to cart, pay right now, ship today. So I ordered this off of Amazon, I don't know, maybe 4 hours ago, and it already came to my door. And I haven't opened it yet. This is the shade 21C Cool Ivory. Now, I have been wondering about this myself with my extremely oily skin. I don't know how this is going to fare. I do have my typical moisturizers on right now, which let me grab for you. I do a last cleanse on my face with this. This is the Clinique Clarifying Lotion, twice a day exfoliator. I only use it once a day. Number 3, this is for combination and oily skin. Then I spritz on a little bit of vitamin water, and I use different things on different days, so I just kind of go through all my stuff. This one is a Vichy Mineral 89 potion. This is a kind of a gel, not a thick cream, because it is hot and I am oily. And so then last step, as far as primer goes, this is actually a setting mist, but I use this as a primer. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. So I do this just a very light little bit. That's it. And this has got a really fine mist on it. So I'm going to real time crack into this. And I also did grab a brand new, fresh, new sponge to try this with. So I don't know, guys, let's see. And then of course I will do a wear test. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a long wear test or if things go epically wrong and it turns out to be another 3 or 4 hour wear test. So opening it up, this is what the package will look like. Kind of looks like a spaceship. We have the puff on the inside. Let's see here. Do I have to push a button? No, I think I just pull the flap open. Then, now TIRTIR, if you're listening and you want to send me on a trip, hey, I'm down with that. Hint, hint, wink, wink to Michaela. Don't come for me, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? All right, so here's the foundation, my puff, couple of dabs. Let's see. Okay, so off the bat, very light, very spreadable. How about the color? Are we super way off in color? Kind of, but I can fix that with bronzers, you guys. So don't panic if your stuff is too light. You can always fix it with bronzers and powders. If your stuff is too dark, you can always mix in a lightening medium, which I do believe LA Colors has a nice one. So I'm looking at this. It's not as radiant. So this has got like a kind of a matte. It's supposed to say a little bit more of a matte finish. Let's see if it sits on my skin like the other one did. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's not emphasizing pores as poorly as the other one did, because boy, let me tell you that, you know, off the bat when you first got it done, excuse me, off the bat when you first finish your makeup, looked fine. But even throughout the process, I was starting to notice creasing. So I will do my whole face and let you know. Maybe I should pop in here and do the same thing. Like play with my cream products, see how it fares with cream products, see how it fairs with concealers and powders and all that. Maybe that's what I should do. So that if you are truly interested in finding out how this is going to work with all of my cream or liquids or concealers, things that really just kind of have a tendency to not play very nice from time to time with certain foundations, I will give that a try. Now, it did say it was buildable, so I'm gonna see if I can do something a little bit more about this more redness that's peeking through here. So dab, dab, dab. Let's see what happens. Let's do it on this side so you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, more red, less red. Okay, so it is buildable, isn't lifting, not even on the spots that I have more dried, so that's good. Because sometimes too, you guys, if you try to go in and build in another layer, some foundations will lift once it's dried and you try to put on another layer. So that's also something that can happen. So ergo, that's why I'm doing this test to see if it will build. So let's pull out some cream products. Israel just wanted me to try some salsa verde. I've got better taste buds than he does, so when he wants to see if it needs more salt, he asks me. So if I got green stuff in my teeth, that's what it's from. All right, again, same thing, my favorite Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in the shade Light. Let's see what happens. Oh, and I do have the right brush, by the way, so it's not gonna be reddish hued today. It will be the right color. Okay, I don't see any lifting, so I'm gonna continue on. Okay, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see what I see. Here's where I put the bronzer, so I've already kind of mooshed and mashed the foundation in with the bronzer. But here's what I'm kind of looking at up here. I almost want to say that it sits on top of the skin a little bit. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing or if I'm just nitpicking it apart. But again, I want to be so brutally honest with you. Maybe I spread it out too thin. Maybe it needed a thicker layer. I don't know. But I think you should be able to thin out a product or cake it on however you like and make it work either way. As far as a flexibility of a product goes, I think that would be important, but it's not lifting the bronzer, so there's that. So I'm going to continue on to compare apples to apples. I am wearing again the Juvia's Place liquid blush. However, this one is the same shade, Soft Tulip, but it's not the shiny glimmery one. So I'm just going to, and I've said this before in my last video, one tiny bloop. That's all you need, okay? That's all you need. These blushes are wildly pigmented. So if you get a shade darker than this, you might panic if you put more than this on your face. Just an FYI, because yes, it is spreadable, but again, pigmentation is there. Now you guys will obviously ask me, well, but Faith, why are you putting your cream products on and then put your concealer on over that? Aren't you just covering it up? Well, yes and no. So here's the thing. You can bring all this stuff under your eye, okay? And it will blend in with your concealer quite nicely and then create this nice kind of ombre effect, which also, if you go a little too heavy-handed on things like this, concealer is a nice way to fix that issue. So let me look and see what I have. So I don't feel like it's lifting. I think it's reacting the same way as the bronzer did. So no lifting really. So let's just keep going and I will be right back with the concealer. Concealer will be the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish. This is going to be the Tarte Shape Tape dupe, if you will. I'm gonna do this one because it's got a little bit of more full coverage, and I do want to cover up some of my little areas here a little bit more, because that TIRTIR foundation, although if I layer it up, I might be able to get a more full coverage foundation out of it. But if the last BB cushion has shown me anything, is I think too many layers is just gonna slide slippity slide right off my face. So let's go ahead and move on with the concealer, shall we? And the same kind of application tool is the Real Techniques little spongy do that I have. It's got a nice pointy end on one side and then the nice flat end on the other. I really like to be able to use this to get underneath my eyes, and so close but not close to my eyelash line there, so that I'm not getting crap in my eyes, because my eyes water, number one, a lot, and they're very sensitive if things get too close. Number two, I have contacts in, and if you guys are contact wearers and makeup wearers, then you know that a little dab of makeup on your contacts will make you blind as a bat. So I like to use products like this for that reason. So let me take a peek and see what we're looking at. Okay, so obviously I'm creasy. Like I said, I have not found anything that doesn't crease. Even though I just put this on, I almost want to say that although it's not lifting or reacting weird, I almost want to say that my face looks a little drier than it should. I'm going to keep going, finish this, and then we'll work with powder. I have my Ride or Die Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Loose Powder. We're going to play around with that. I just want to make sure that I kind of smear out these little creasy creases that I got going on here, and go ahead and, oh, by the way, okay, not a ton, but I am getting some creasing so far. So just FYI on that. I don't typically get creasing like that with my higher end foundations, okay? So pointing that out, and bakey. Okay, we're not pilling. Sometimes that will happen with some powders. We get some pilling. No pilling so far. Just a little bit of creasing here. Those can be easily smooshed out and then filled in with powder. So I'm gonna keep going. I will do my whole face and I will come back. I have my I have my eyeshadow and the rest of my powder products on. Powder products. Now, what I noticed is that I don't know if it just doesn't seem to be, powder products seem to be setting well with it or not. I don't know. I'm going to avoid doing anything with shimmer and glitter. I did put highlighter on the tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, tip of my mouth here, and I did do a shiny eyeshadow here, but I'm not going to do any highlighter here or here like I usually do. I want to try to keep things as matte as possible because I really want to see what's going to happen to this over time. And sometimes highlighters and stuff that are shiny can kind of mislead you. But I think, you know, like here, I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. It might not like the under stuff that I have on. So maybe next time I can try it without any under stuff on. But to give it another fair shot, I'm gonna do the Revolution Sport Fix Lasting Hold Fixing Spray. This is some pretty decent stuff, you guys. So if you're looking for a long-lasting setting spray, check this out. I do want to just remind you though that setting sprays that are designed to be matte finish typically have alcohol in it. So using it a lot can sometimes dry out your skin. Now, I've been using this when I do my clothing try on, and I just cake it all over so that when I'm trying on and off clothes, I'm not transferring it onto my clothes. And so far it's been pretty decent. There's another one by Revolution that I really like that I couldn't find, and that's why I picked this one up instead. Not 100% if this is a new one or not, but worth trying out anyways. It's got a pretty powerful spray, not a nice little mister like that e.l.f. one was, so you get drenched quite easily. But I'm going to continue on and finish up my makeup, and then I will do a check-in a little bit later on. Currently it is 3:04. It's later in the day. I've been editing, so I started getting ready beautiful later on in the day. So we'll see what time I come on in with a checkup, and I don't know, maybe one should be enough because I'm already seeing just kind of minor little flaws with it that doesn't shout to me, hurry up, go buy it. That's the best thing since fried rice. If you want a good foundation so far, I think the new e.l.f. one, I would rate above this one as of right now, because this one was almost $30 and I'm like, so far, I'm just on it, right? I know there's cheaper, better, so I'll come back a little later. Okay, so it is about 9:30 p.m. and I am doing a 6.5 hour wear test. So it's not going to be too long before I go to bed. But I just want to show you that I don't have much for lines in the foundation that usually collect in some of my deeper wrinkles. There's some, but not a lot. I don't have much for breaking apart. A little bit in here is breaking apart. Not too much for puddling in the deep creases, like around my nose. As you can see, I am oily. Typically happens with a lot of my foundations, but currently it's not horrible. I didn't do any powder touch-ups or anything. I feel like where it kind of reacted poorly with the powder, my natural oils, I believe, have come through and kind of melted that in and made it look a little bit better. So overall, would I say that this is the best foundation out there? No, not really. So this effect is more or less what I can get with this. So in my opinion, I would try the e.l.f. over the TIRTIR cost-wise, but it's not bad. It's not a horrible foundation. I think this is one that for me personally wore better over time than it looked right up front. So I think my natural oils have kind of come through, melted it in a little bit better, and made it look a little bit better, if that makes sense. Foundations will do that. So there are some that just work a little bit better over time than they do right off the front. And that's kind of what this one did. Would I say it's worth $30? No, because it's actually more expensive than my more expensive foundations, because my more expensive foundations, I do get a discounted rate. So if you can't get the more expensive ones like I can at a discounted rate, this is actually then $20 less than my more expensive foundations. So I guess to me, if you would like to try it, I don't think it's a horrible product. Was I a little about it at first? Yeah. Wore a little bit better throughout the day. I have had better results on more expensive foundations, but I've also had very similar results in less expensive foundations. So just things to consider. I don't think it's worth all the cajillion reviews and trips and all the other purses and things, fabulous things that less trustworthy influencers out there have been receiving to promote this stuff. So just FYI, my true official thoughts as a 42-year-old, very oily skin gal. I am going to, for scientific purposes, try the TIRTIR one more time, but this time, instead of using my normal moisturizers and all that, because I do believe to an extent there are some facial moisturizers in here that might be beneficial and moisturizing. I can't be 100% certain. I would maybe even have to look into the description to see if there are any skin loving ingredients. But anyways, today, so I just used my normal Clinique clarifying lotion, twice a day exfoliator, level 3 for combination oily skin. And then instead of doing any moisturizers, like I said, I do want to have at least something. So this is something that I've gotten from a BoxyCharm box quite some time ago. This is the 111 Skin Antioxidant Energizing Essence, which is basically just a liquid. I let that sit on my face for a really long time, and I feel like it's pretty much absorbed in there. So I'm hoping maybe this time around, without any additional moisturizers, I may have better luck on how it sits on the face. Now I do know that this is a dirty sponge, but this is the sponge that I used the last time on this, and this sponge has only been used for this. So let's try this out, shall we? Do this side, and let's just see. Okay, and let's just see. Take a real close-up look here and see if you can see what I see, minus the little hair here. I think it might be sitting a little bit better. So that kind of is a bummer that you can't use like additional moisturizers under it. Now what I want to try on this side of my face is like a pore filling primer that's got more like of a silicone base in it. So the one I'm going to try on this half of my face is the No Pore Blem Primer from Touch and Soul. I typically have pretty good luck with this one, not performing oddly under multiple different foundations that I've used. So I'm going to put that much on my hand, and I'm just going to grab from that and put that into areas that I would like to have my pores filled in. just a little bit more. And then of course, this is a little bit thinner of a pore filling product. It's not very thick. It's very, very thin. And overall, I think sometimes this helps to blend in makeup onto your skin kind of smoothly, because that's what I was seeing as an issue with this foundation, is that it didn't really blend very smoothly over my skin. But over time, when my oils came through, it seemed to be all right. But as you can see, it's just a very, very thin product. So I'm gonna try that with the TIRTIR now, and let's see what happens. Let's see if it plays nice. Who knows? Who knows? We see much of a difference here. So no Porblem, no Porblem primer side here versus no primer here. I don't see a significant difference. I don't really see if it's sitting differently or not. Again, no difference, but maybe, you know, it might affect how it wears throughout the day. So of course we'll be able to check up on that. And then getting some creasing already. Here, here, here. But I'm gonna do my makeup, and then I will come back with a check-in towards the end of the day, and we'll see what happens, okay? And then I will be able to give you my final thoughts on this product. But as it stands currently, I'm kind of meh on it, right? So I think we know that by now. Before we do the check-in, I just want to show you that I did not use any cream products, okay? So I'm gonna also avoid cream and liquid products and see if that does anything either. So all I did was powder my face. Of course, I put a pound of powder on. That's why I look like I just, you know, was cooking up a storm and flour went everywhere, okay? So just wanted to hop in here real quick and let you know that. A 4-hour check-in. We have creasing. I have some separation going on. Creasing. I have a little bit of collection going on. And then of course, I'm already kind of getting to looking like a shiny hot mess. And remember, this is the side that I did not do a primer on. And this is the side that I did. So the primer did not do anything for me. Not using any creams or liquids really didn't change anything for me. So you guys, I'm 42 years old. I have extremely oily skin type, and I've tried it with different items, without different things, and I can't really make it work for me. So I'm gonna have to give this a hard pass. Also, overall, I don't really care for the coverage that it gives me, But if you like a lighter coverage product and you want something that's going to stay on your face and not crease, here's another option. Now this one is a little bit more expensive than the e.l.f. foundation, but if you want a lighter coverage, something that's gonna last you through the day, especially for you oily gals, this is the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint. And although it says skin tint, it's about a medium coverage, which I think overall this TIRTIR foundation gives me a medium coverage. And I did put quite a bit on. So the only other thing that I could try is to put less on. I didn't just really sheer it out, but I have to say, my final thoughts for a $30 price tag, that's my final thought.